When life gets overwhelmingly busy, it can feel like we're sprinting on a treadmill that never ever stops. Tasks pile up, calendars overflow, and yet beneath all that motion, we feel stuck. It's a paradox that many experience but rarely pause to understand. Today's blog is about neuroplasticity. Welcome, I'm Catharina Bowers for Reflections101.com. You have probably heard the term neuroplasticity before. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change itself, like mental remodeling. Imagine your brain as a city full of roads. These are the neural pathways. Every time you learn something new, practice a skill, or even have a strong emotional experience, your brain builds new roads or improves old ones. If a road gets damaged, say from an injury or trauma, your brain can enroute traffic through a new path, a different path, and that's neuroplasticity at work. Why is it that when we are so very busy, it sometimes feels like we're stuck? Distraction from self. Constant activity can act as a shield from deeper emotions or unresolved thoughts. We stay busy to avoid confronting discomfort. Loss of direction. When every day is packed with obligations, we often lose sight of our personal goals and values. We're not moving forward, we think, but not necessarily progressing. Cultural pressures. Society glorifies productivity, making rest or reflection seem indulgent or even lazy. So one must also make sure that we get enough rest so that we are able to rejuvenate and help oneself to become physically healthy. When we reflect on what we have been doing, for instance, I frequently reflect on how I'm doing. Do I need rest? Am I well enough to do something extra? What direction is my writing taking me? What direction am I missing? Do I need to do something creative? How is my piano playing, my music going? Should I practice more? And the answer is yes, I should practice more. Just like I write every day, it's kind of like a living journal. I have a cozy place where I write, and when I write, it opens up my mind to things that I need to be aware of. Sometimes when I shut down or I need to take some time to reflect a little harder, I can become careless or not on top of my game. And I recognize when this happens. It is often when I'm in pain or coughing or just tired from doing too much. By adjusting how I plan my day, I'm able to do what I need to do. We in our society seem to place a lot of value on what we do for a living. And once you are retired and the job isn't there anymore, some of our self esteem diminishes because we do not feel productive. But it's okay to be retired and do the things you always wanted to do. You deserve to do the more fun things in life. You have worked hard so that you can do these things, be more sociable, creative, and make things, do things. But it is also important that you do something that makes you feel productive. It's part of our mindset. Volunteer with a local organization, learn something new, a language or maybe an instrument, do something new and different so that you make yourself happier. But you are also broadening your mind and creating new pathways. Neuroplasticity at work. This is why seniors play games like Sudoku, Vita Mahjong, Wordle, enjoy puzzles, playing instruments. They write, they sing, they paint, and fulfill their times with hobbies. They participate to keep their minds alive and to learn new activities and to remain productive and focused. To be able to attend the next painting lesson or choir practice, walk fit group or council meeting. It all keeps us going as an active participant in life. How reflection breaks the cycle. Reflections allow us to step off the treadmill and to ask, what am I doing and why? That pause can reveal misalignment between our actions and our desires. Am I doing what is best for me? Release suppressed emotions. Quiet moments give us permission to feel what we have been avoiding. This emotional release can be profoundly healing, restores meaning. Through contemplation, we reconnect with what matters most. It's like recalibrating your internal compass. The connection between neuroplasticity and reflection reveals how our brains aren't just active organs, but adaptive ones. Reflection isn't just a mental pause, it's a neurological recalibration. How reflection fuels neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is our brain's ability to change itself like mental remodeling. Imagine your brain as a city full of roads, and these are your neural pathways. Every time you learn something new, practice a new skill, or even have a strong emotional experience, your brain builds new roads or improves old ones. If a road gets damaged, say through injury or trauma, your brain can reroute traffic through a different path, like a detour. It's neuroplasticity at work. That's how it plays out in real life. Learning a new language or instrument, your brain forms new connections to handle the new skill. Recovering from a stroke, it is part of the brain. If part of the brain is damaged, another part can take over the lost function. Now, this isn't true in every situation, but in many situations, it is true. Breaking a bad habit, you can rewire your brain to favor healthier behaviors. And the best part, this ability doesn't vanish with age. This ability keeps adapting itself throughout your life. In the mid 90s, I studied with Dr. Hasai Aliyev, a Russian doctor who had developed a relaxation technique called the key to thyself. It is, in essence, a technique that can be used to learn to relax, reshape your ability to excel in anything that you want to achieve. It is the physical practice of neuroplasticity, one that you control yourself. It works. Soon I will unfold more information to you if you are interested. It is usually taught in a workshop format, occasionally on a one-to-one situation. Considering the state of today's economy, the need to have more than one job, feeling burnt out and worrying about how all the chores could be completed, finding that the paycheck can only be spent once, often having the one who is responsible for paying the bills feeling overwhelmed and disconnected from all those daily routines. Sometimes it is all too much for a one parent family, and everything is left to just one adult in the family. The key in North America is called Cosmic Cradle. Want to explore how to boost your own neuroplasticity? Strengthen new neural pathways. When we reflect on our experiences, especially with intention, we reinforce new ways of thinking. This repetition helps form and solidify neural connections and essence of neuroplasticity. That is what neuroplasticity is about. Interrupts the automatic patterns. Reflection allows us to notice habitual responses like stress or avoidance and consciously choose different ones. This rewiring can shift us from reactive to responsive behavior. Boosts emotional regulation. Practices like mindfulness and journaling activate the prefrontal cortex, the brain center for decision making and emotional control, while calming the amygdala, which governs fear and stress. Practice ways to engage both. Mindful reflection. Combine mindfulness with structured reflection. Example: what happened? What did I feel? What can I learn? This deepens awareness and rewires emotional responses. Writing about your thoughts and behaviors help identify patterns and encourages cognitive flexibility, a key aspect of neuroplasticity. By writing our feelings and experiences down in the written form gives the author the ability to reflect on his or her writing and learn from the patterns and the content. Guided techniques using models like what, so what, now what, or neurofeedback tools can enhance self awareness and stimulate brain growth. One beautiful insight from Dr. Dan Siegel's work is that where attention goes, neural firing flows and neural connections grow. In other words, reflection isn't passive, it's sculpting your brain in real time. Let's keep flowing with this beautiful energy you're riding. You're in the rare space where exhaustion and exhilaration meet, which often means something profound has shifted inside. The afterglow of deep reflection. This moment, think about what you have created and learned, and then review the creative and the emotion attached to the work. It's like standing at the edge of a quiet lake, watching the ripples settle. You've stirred the waters, revisited your past, and now you're feeling resonance on all that movement. That's not just tiredness, it's integration. Here's a thought: what if this very state is the proof of neuroplasticity in motion? Your brain has just reconnected dots, reframed memories, and maybe even rewritten a few internal scripts. That's why you feel both spent and renewed. When the reflective afterglow is felt, it is a time of exhilaration, memory snapshots, bliss for having remembered something that you had forgotten about, and the joy of being able to enjoy it all over again. That is what this blog is about, a review of a course of study that I participated in with Dr. Eliev in 1994. Um, I was going through it and I had all these memories, and they were good memories. And I remembered how much I was able to learn and to do at that time. And I think I need to get back at it. But also a tiredness from the excitement and the work involved in the remembering and the ripple effect that happens when one memory triggers another, and so forth. The time that has been spent may have caused you to remember other scenarios as well that are causing you to feel triggered, causing you anxiety or some sense of uneasiness. For instance, I didn't just review my blog, I reviewed my becoming something new. And somewhere between the tiredness and the thrill, I realized I've changed. I am not quite the same person I was. because in the meantime I have learned and experienced other things and information. It's part of growing. Right now, I am the echo of every word I've ever written, tired from the journey, but lit on the inside. It resonated with me. I am a storyteller, and I started to feel it in my soul. Let's lean into that poetic current and shape something that captures this moment of tired exhilaration, deep reflection, and quiet triumph. I am the echo of every word I've written. My thoughts, once scattered across the years, now hum in harmony. I'm tired, not from the weight of the past, but from the joy of having carried it, examined it, and the joy of having me teach it as well. Exhilarated because I feel myself more clearly than ever before, not as a fixed point, but as a constellation, always shifting, never shining, always becoming. And when I said, oh, never shining, it should have been always shining. I want to shine. I've captured the essence of my journey. That response came straight from the rhythm of the journey. 6 years of reflection distilled into a quiet, radiant truth. I've been weaving my own mythology, and now I am low, standing in the middle of the glow of it. Something that begins with the pulse of your recent review, flows through the emotional terrain of tiredness and exhilaration, and lands in that luminous space of becoming. Here are some of my thoughts. I walk through my own archives, not to judge the past, but to honor the steps that brought me here. Reflection is not a mirror, it's a window. And today I saw through it into the quiet strength of who I've become. I wish you a great week. I'm Catharina Bowers for Reflections 101. See you next week. Bye.